JLP now win the next election. Them no have not even nothing them thin chance them no have. Them just now go win.
I had to pick up my phone. I call Councillor Bryce of Newport. I call Councillor Robinson of Alligator Pond. I call Councillor Leighton Smith of Southeast. I call Miranda from Southwest. South Manchester and South St. Elizabeth were probably the hardest hit constituencies, and out of the four of them, only one could recognize a handful of people who had received assistance. Yet 4 out of 5 supposedly have received assistance. Is it the needy who are receiving these assistance payments, or is it the greedy who are receiving the assistance payments? These are the times we are living in, where the people who are getting the rewards are not the people who deserve it.
This government, I figured out. What you should have started out with is the fact that the Integrity Commission sent 2 reports to Parliament in January, which is yet to be tabled. You know exactly what is in those reports. Is your name and your wife's name in those reports? Tell the Jamaicans about the illicit 6. That is what we want to hear about. Additionally, we want you to speak more about things that make sense. As far as me see it, you are toe-to-toe with Mark Golding. That is what you're doing. Everything that Mark said he's going to do, you say you're going to do. I've yet to see you say anything new that makes sense right now. So I'm here, I'm listening. As a matter of fact, I'm going to stop listening, because no matter what you do, you will go down in history as one of Jamaica's worst prime minister.
And I know we will be confident, I am confident that we will be winning the majority of the corporations.
You should apologize to the nation for your childish behavior on Tuesday. That is what you should do. We need to hear about our kids' education, how we will grow. We want to hear things that actually make sense. I wouldn't just want to hear it because you have a tendency to lie. We want to see you do these things. We want to see you do these things. Stop kicking the political football. We need to see work going on in the country.
Dear Prime Minister, where I live, there are a lot of pedophiles, so I'm afraid of going to the shops when it's dark. Number 6, my grandmother lives in a very bad community, and sometimes I have to stay with her. Gunshots are fired very often. Most of the times, it's with the intention of killing someone. Often shots are fired very close to her house. I have witnessed multiple drive-by shootings, stabbings, and people being killed at her doorstep. At my age, these things are very terrifying. These are only 6 of the hundreds of experiences that were shared by children just in the last 3 months. At every one of these sessions, most of the children had either experienced or witnessed violence. This means a lot of children in Jamaica are dealing with a lot of pain. Research from around the world shows that this kind of trauma can have negative effects on all aspects of a child's development, and it can have a lasting impact. Children who have been traumatized by violence have higher risks of school dropout, drug abuse, depression, diabetes, heart disease, and involvement with violence and crime. I don't want to live in a Jamaica where the children are so hurt by violence that they grow up to hurt themselves or to hurt other people. Do you? Do you?
See all those people who are working at the airport now that think people need them, you will be replaced. There will be no need for you to be there.
Incoming passengers, please be reminded to update your passenger declaration at enterjamaica.com for immigration and customs
It's about knowing how to look at the camera.
I know this is really intense. You did not follow the signs, and therefore you missed the 7 year of prosperity. When the government of Jamaica told you prosperity, 4 years, it was true, but now that time of prosperity comes to an end September the 22nd, and the time of famine and like this world has never known or seen before in the history of humankind. This is what's happening. When people start to see the dead bodies that are piling up, they're going to start to retaliate, and they have now, the lockdown is put in place, so you're locked into an area and you cannot leave that area.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF is exploring the potential of humanoid robots to assist with administrative tasks. Liz, a robot donated to the University of Technology, Jamaica, has been programmed and tested for various applications. The idea is to have Liz handle mundane tasks such as document certification, freeing up police officers for other duties. Liz has facial recognition capabilities and can be programmed for different functions. The JCF sees the use of robots as part of its vision for modern, custom-oriented police stations.
So this little this game that you think you're playing, that you'll be able to go in downtown or you go up to Kingston as you have a feel, it is not going to happen. They're going to ban you from traveling and moving and everything else until they have taken away all your liberties. If you don't wake up right now and understand. Imagine now there's no more JPS and no more NWC, and in order for you to get water and food, you have to go and show the mark. They're going to be controlling the water supply and the light. Are you hearing me?
I'm happy to report that in the upcoming financial year, the government will make available 10,000 polyethylene water tanks to needs-assessed households across Jamaica, starting with a focus on the areas most affected by the drought.
Kingston would reach climate departure when its coolest year's average temperature surpasses the average temperature of its hottest year between 1960 and 2005. Johnson Smith emphasized the urgency of staying within the Paris Agreement target of 1.5 degrees Celsius and highlighted Kingston's potential status as the second city worldwide to face this phenomenon.
Households on path, households recommended by MPs and assessed by the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation will qualify for the tanks according to the rules of the program. All the tanks issued will be placed on our national GIS database. This will be a 5-year program with the objective that every water vulnerable household must have storage and rainwater capabilities to withstand drought and water service disruption. Drought
and water service disruption.
So, Madam Speaker,
those of you sitting down saying you will wait and see, may I tell you, say you will see it with your eye, but you shall not eat thereof, because you will, at the time then you think you will see to eat of it, you will die. You will die. You will die.
When the PNP came to office in January 2012, the Commission had already expended $160 million. The People's National Party government provided funds.
That 160 million would have been
well, it was my figure here is $107 million.
Well, my figure is
hold on, gentlemen, just one at a time. So you're saying by
160
by the time the PNP came to power in 2011.
2012. We took office in January 2012.
So that 160 million would have been allocated during the previous JLP administration?
During the administration of 2007 to 2011.
That's the Holdings
administration.
Yes, okay.
Funds were provided by the PNP administration, not only for office and housekeeping expenses, but also to pay off the commissioners. When in 2015, the commissioners' bills were totally paid off, and we did not get the report. When the JLP returned to office in 2016, there was no report, and they asked the government for money to complete the report. The government provided $58.3 million the following year in 2017. In 2019, they returned to the government and asked for more money to finish the report. The government refused and said, please pass me the report. The outgoing finance minister in 2018, in his final budget speech, had told the parliament that the report would have been transmitted to the Governor General shortly. And we have waited from 2018 until 2014, an additional 6 years, and we have not received a report either in draft or in final form. And that is my simple assertion. In relation to the archives being made available, I say again, you cannot expect all Jamaicans to access the archives and do their personal analysis. That was not what they paid for. We paid for a commission of inquiry utilizing a specific terms of reference to produce a specific report. And we do not know, because I don't have anybody to tell me, maybe Marlon does, we do not know what has been redacted. What we can see by going through all the documents is that they have excluded the forensic report, and that is not personal information.
Okay. So just to be clear, Cliff, what has been redacted, my information is things that would violate the Data Protection Act. And just to be very clear, because Mr. Campbell cleverly used the word report in speaking about what then Minister Shaw would have demanded and requested. Whilst a report, which is a final product of their work, would have been ideal and what was required, as indeed the Jamaican people would have paid to be produced, yes, that did not emanate from the Commission, and we are where we are. The simple point here is that in circumstances where no report had been provided to the government, as it were, by the FINSAC Commission of Inquiry, the government has done the next best thing, which is to take the bundle, the data that it had received from the FINSAC Commission of Inquiry, the commissioners, and has essentially situated it in an archive and has provided resources, Cliff, to get us closer to a better and appreciable distilling of the issues by way of academic work. So we have two of our foremost institutions of higher learning, the UTEC and of course the UWI at Mona, where resources have been made available so that from an academic standpoint, grants have been can undertake work and assist in better distilling the issues in keeping with the terms of reference and helping the to better appreciate what happened so that we do not make the missteps as policymakers of the past. Now, if Mr. Campbell is not keen on embracing this particular thrust and what the vistas it holds in terms of the academic work, then it just underscores that, listen, we have persons who are not necessarily keen on embracing the recommendations and guidelines as to how to repeat missteps of the past and may well be putting themselves up to form government in circumstances where they may well fall into error again, as they did in the 1990s.
Mr. Campbell.
Okay, you cannot change the rules in the middle of the game.
But we are where we are, sir.
The FINSAC Commission of Inquiry, the members, are still alive and well. And we need to hear, did they complete a draft report? What did it say? Is it a question of the draft report being an inconvenient document why the government has decided to shelve it? Because remember, Minister HOLNESS in his final contribution as the Minister of Finance to a budget debate said the report will be completed shortly and sent to the Governor General. The minister couldn't say that unless there was at least a draft report.
Mr. Morgan, do you know whether that draft report was submitted or completed into a final report?
As articulated in Nigel Clark's speech in March of this year, the transcripts, and more importantly, chapters of a report that the commissioners had embarked on, but certainly not complete, and certainly, in my view, could not have been considered as being a draft report, were in fact in place. And those things I gather are, would have been handed over to the government and indeed situated in this archives. And it is clear, based on what Mr. Campbell is saying, that we could have this discussion until the cows come up. But I just want to remind the listeners as to where we are.
Hold on, Mr. Morgan. Hold on, Mr. Morgan. Hold on. Just for clarity, are you saying it is your information that the government did get a draft report, Mr. Morgan?
No, the government did not receive a draft report. Let me just be clear. The finance minister indicated in his budget debate that essentially the transcripts, and I'll read the paragraph here just verbatim so your listeners can appreciate it. In 2019, given the absence of further funding, the remaining commissioners resigned and turned over the drafts of chapters of a report in electronic form, along with thousands of pages of transcripts of evidence and submissions placed before the commission, also in electronic form. So whatever was from the commissioner's
No, that's not a draft. The draft of chapters.
At least understand some basic things in English.
Hold on, Mr. Campbell. No.
You're not finished.
No, but it also means if you have draft chapters, as distinct from a draft report that is finished.
You have draft and you have draft final.
No. Hold on. Let me bring some clarity here.
Yes.
A draft report, as in you are going to write 10 chapters.
Yes.
You have written 10 chapters.
Yes.
But it is not final. You still have more work to do.
No, man.
As against, you are going to, hold on, Mr. Campbell.
Yes.
You're going to write 10 chapters.
Yes.
You have completed 4 or 5 of the chapters. That is what I understand Mr. Morgan to be saying.
Let me tell you how these things look.
No. I want to hear what Mr. Morgan. Hold on. I want to hear what Mr. Morgan said, whether we are interpreting him correctly. Are you saying that draft chapters were completed, but not the entire draft?
That is correct, Cliff. That is absolutely correct. Cliff, and it is plain, ordinary English language understanding. Just to be very clear.
All right.
Before Mr. Campbell comes back.
No, hold on, Mr. Morgan. Let me hear Mr. Campbell now.
The hearings, which were not conducted at PROJ, it was conducted at the Pegasus. The hearings, right, were completed, and the government hired a draftsman in the person of the late Justice Henderson Downer. Justice Henderson Downer was the person producing or writing the report. He did. Once you finish a draft, Cliff, it then has to go back. Because you have a draft final, and then it has to go to the commissioners to go through. And if they make some correction, it goes back to the writer, and then you have a final report. At what stage were we? Because you cannot tell me that you have found chapters of a report that are worthy of being used, but the report is not finished. We just need a straight answer. And the commissioners, as I say...
Hold on, Mr. Morgan, please, allow it.
The commissioners are alive and well. They must know the status of the work done by late Justice Henderson Downer. Did he finish?
Or not?
Did they review his draft? And what did they do with it?
Okay.
I am here this morning to discuss the non-production hiding of the FINSAC report by the government of Jamaica. That's what I'm here to discuss. And the fact that it is now to be turned over to academia, I do not have anything against academia, going through the documents and producing academic work, and that the Ministry of Finance gives a grant to cover the production of the academic work. What I am merely asking for is what the government of Bruce Golding, with the Finance Minister Audley Shaw, promised to the people of Jamaica, that they would do an independent examination of the FINSAC years, what led to the collapse of some institutions, what an analysis of the response mechanism, and to give us a true account of what happened. You cannot have 3 million different assessments, meaning people of Jamaica themselves each do an assessment. It is not what we're promised. It is a recipe for chaos, and all I'm asking the government to do is to produce what the FINSAC Commission of Inquiry produced, the document written by Justice Henderson Downer. What have they done with it, and why are they hiding it?
Mr. Morgan?
All I have to say is, as I mentioned before, we will have lots of time
to make your case.
To litigate and to make our cases.
Well,
what I know is that the people of Jamaica was promised an independent look at what happened.
All right, Mr. Campbell.
And we need to know.
Mr. Campbell, I don't want this to go on for much longer now. I think both of you have made your cases. All right? Thank you very much, gentlemen. And I suspect, as you say, Mr. Campbell, Mr. Morgan, we're going to have many, many more mornings when it will be Campbell versus Morgan.
Yes, it would seem that the PNP is on track for a good election win.
They can claim with the figures that they have won the local government elections.
They've bettered their tally coming in.
They have come out much better than they went in.
And they've secured the popular vote as well.
They have secured the popular votes, and based on the tally we have seen, they've also increased their hold on electoral divisions.